Yeah.
Man,
We back.
those burgers.
Got 3 more patties to take care of, buddy.
Jeez, I'm trying to chew it up quickly.
This is the Varsity Brews Podcast. Brought to you by WestWind Brewery.
There we go.
Brought to you by Rustic Rocks. Oh, you can't hear me. Uh-oh. He can't hear me, buddy. Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
You
Well,
can't-
not through to this.
Uh-oh. That's bad news.
That's bad news, Bears.
But I can hear you. Uh-oh. That's bad news bears, buddy. But you can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, well.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh. Whatever happened, magic happens, huh? And we are brought to you by Legacy Performance. The boys would be proud of us today, hammering 6 patties and no buns.
Oh, my lamb.
The guy to our right
Stats.
here in the middle, he likes buns.
Yeah.
And he cannot lie.
The stats on this are just insane.
Give me the stats. Give me the rundown.
240 grams of protein,
Woo!
280 grams of fat,
Yeah.
and 19 carbs.
You know, Cinco Muchachos always comes through. I don't know what anybody wants to say about it, but they come through here. Check this out. A patty situation that absolutely
6 patties.
Yes. Yeah, you said something. I'm like, oh wait, I ordered too many patties.
That's a lot of patties.
This is your second 6 patty night though in a week?
Evan, does that make you a patty daddy?
I'm the patty daddy. It's back-to-back days.
And almost a real daddy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting close.
That would be kid number what?
It'd be the first for Julie
Yep.
and I,
Yep.
and 4 total.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And the due date is anytime, so we got to knock out these Varsity Brews podcasts when we get a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
And it is a semifinal edition. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
We did it.
They beat Georgia. So they were quite happy after the game. And, you know, I'm going around with the camera, and you can film post-game. You can't film the game itself, but you can film anytime the game has stopped. And, of course, we're talking about Notre Dame's win over Georgia in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. I'm on the field. First of all, I lost my cell phone in the celebration.
What?
Yeah. I lost
a real story?
That is a real story. I'll get to it in a second.
man.
But you can imagine thousands of pieces of
and,
confetti.
And also, too, you need to touch on your experience prior
yeah,
to as
I
well.
will.
It's-
Yeah, it was a scary situation.
My brother was down there, too.
He was down there?
They ended up leaving.
The French Quarter?
Yeah, because he had messaged me asking.
Oh, you mean leaving in general?
They left?
How long were they down there?
I think for a day or two.
I mean, like at night, though. Were they down on the French Quarter?
No, they've got 2 young kids, so I don't think they were out doing anything. But my brother Ryan messaged me and asked, and that's why I got in touch with you about any of the alumni stuff.
Yeah.
And they canceled all of that.
Did they?
Yeah, every alumni monogram type thing was all canceled.
Yeah.
So they ended up just heading home.
Yeah. Well, it was, we'll get into it. It was a scary situation. But in the celebration, as I lost my phone, I'm still going around getting like video and like, you know, you want to get the moment of jubilation.
Touchdown Jesus was with you.
Sure was.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, R.J. Oben, who got like the strip sack recovery in the first half, he's like, we just beat bleeping Georgia. We beat Georgia. And like, you know what it meant to them was something special. What I'm afraid of
That was it?
What I'm afraid of is how many times can you get up for a game week after week? And we're going to discuss that here on the Varsity Brews podcast because
Is
we're
this
playing Penn
already a
State.
hint at what your prediction is here?
This guy knows me too well now.
Or do you think it's just
He knows
good
me
luck
too
since
well.
you picked-
We're only like 3 minutes into the show. I can't make the prediction of it.
right now. I mean,
Maybe you think it's just good luck, though, since you picked Georgia to win.
Honestly, I'm kind of thinking that
Yeah,
right
I
now.
mean, I'm just going to roll with it.
I want to get your guys' thoughts on this game and on the rest of the quarterfinal action. And how many of our teams have come true here? Ohio State,
Yep. Showed up.
Texas.
Texas
Showed up.
Notre Dame.
Really,
some of us picked
Texas
since
really
first
probably
podcast,
shouldn't have won,
we
though,
said
either.
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, Texas should not have won that
should
game.
not.
No, they should not. Yeah, Arizona State should be in
And how many of us picked Penn State to be here? 0.
Who'd we have through that?
Georgia.
No. It wouldn't have been Georgia.
No. Did we?
It would have been Penn State.
Would have been?
Yeah. Otherwise, we would
maybe
have. Otherwise, we would have
Boise
picked
State
Boise.
or yeah. Man.
Or wait, who did Penn State play first? No, SMU. No, it was
yeah.
Penn State.
Yeah. I don't know what Penn State has to offer, honestly. Let's talk about some of the other games. Let's talk about Notre Dame first. How do you guys think when you're watching this game unfold? It was tight. A couple of big plays made a difference in this game. Turnovers made a difference in this game.
Turnovers and special teams.
Special teams. The guy was on target.
Yep.
And, hey, Levon dubbed it after the game. He dubbed it the transfer portal game because you had transfer portal guys making a difference in this game. Watching Notre Dame, number one, do you feel like they were that much better than Georgia? And number two, can this team win it all?
So to answer your first question about Georgia,
Yeah.
I think some of my big concerns probably showed up when I watched them play Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Whether it was Carson Beck or it was what's his name?
Drew Aller?
No, for Georgia.
Oh.
Why am I blanking
He has
on
a
his
really
name?
good football name.
Yeah. We'll get there. They didn't have solid quarterback play all year. And I wasn't tremendously worried about their offense, especially the
Gunner Stockton.
There you go. With the way Notre Dame's defense has played, I felt like Notre Dame matched up really well with Georgia. And I didn't think it was going to be a ton of offense on either side. And I think, when we did our podcast previously to the game, I thought it was going to come down to some swings and momentum. Who was going to, be able to take advantage of some field swings in the special teams games and then turnovers. And I think that played a pretty big role. Notre Dame's defense is definitely a championship defense. So to follow up, your second question, can they win it all? Let's take it this week. I think once again of the three teams that they've played, IU, Georgia, and Penn State, it's probably the best draw in terms of who Notre Dame matches up best with.
Right.
Because
You think they match up better with Penn State?
than Texas or Ohio State.
100%.
I don't think they match up with Ohio State at all.
I don't think right now anybody matches
Michigan.
up well.
Michigan does.
I can tell you what, if Ohio State played Michigan again, they wouldn't try to run the ball for 4 quarters.
No. Why did they try to do that the first time?
I don't
Just
know.
to prove a point.
13-10.
Yeah. So
Point that out.
I think Drew Aller. I watched the Penn State game, and we kind of joked around that we didn't know too many players on the team. The first game that I watched, I think, of Penn State was their win. They had an opportunity really to go up probably 4 or 5 scores against Boise State and didn't.
Yep.
I thought that they got a little cute in terms of their play calling. When Aller's on, I think he can be dangerous, but he looked to move out of the pocket, I think, a little bit too soon. What Notre Dame's going to have to do is certainly a shutdown of the tight end. I mean, he's a stud. He's a really good football player. When
he's good.
And when they went to the run though early, and I think they got away from that. I mean, it was I think I sent you a text. They're averaging 8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And then decided to get cute, and I think they did a trick play or two, and then started some drop back where it was just keep running the football until they stop it, and then play action pass. So, but once again, I think Notre Dame's defense, they're going to have a good game plan. As we look past that, if it's Texas or Ohio State, which I think right now I'm probably leaning more towards it being Ohio State in the championship game.
For sure.
Notre Dame's played a lot of man
100%.
coverage all year, right? They played a lot of man coverage all year.
Yep.
I think that they will probably do that against Penn State. They're going to have to stop the run for that to work. And then, are they able to match up well with a tight end? That's a new challenge that I don't think we've seen presented to this Notre Dame defense yet this year. And then if that happens and Ohio State wins.
Except Georgia. Georgia had their tight end loose because he was number 86.
But he was, I don't know. I watched.
That's what worries me.
I watched what Penn State does with their tight end. And again, I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah,
feel bad, but
it's like Dallas Clark Jr.
Yeah, with long hair. That dude's 6'6", 260.
Yeah,
and was mossing guys. He dropped a touchdown pass too. They move him around. He does a lot. So how Notre Dame defends that is going to be. I'm going to be very interested to see what they do. But it all starts with stopping the run. If you're able to do that, and make them one-dimensional, it's a difficult thing. Now, if they end up playing Ohio State and they are in the national championship game, what do you do then? Do you get off of what you've done all year in terms of playing man coverage and play zone? Or are you going to shade one side of the field? Because it's obviously they have arguably the best. Well, he is the best receiver, one of the best players in the nation.
Yeah,
but they have
the freshman.
But they have another really good receiver, who's number 2,
who has not really made a lot of noise this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, he quietly had a good season, but didn't make as big of an impact. I am very, very. We picked
that. That was a long-winded answer in saying yes, Notre Dame has an opportunity to play for the national championship.
Yeah, I agree.
My thoughts are Riley Leonard has, I believe this is a true stat, that he's had 2,000 passing yards, 800 rushing yards, and that's no other Notre Dame quarterback has ever done that. Hey, for a transfer portal like game, NIL, that's a win.
Is it a successful season?
Absolutely, 100%.
If they lose to Penn State,
they're not going to lose to Penn State. Penn State's. Here's what I'll tell you. Penn State's defense is good. If the Irish can figure out a way to manipulate that, Penn State's offense is not that good. It's going to be
Penn State's offense is better than Notre Dame's offense.
I think Penn State's offense is also playing better than Georgia's offense.
100%.
But here's what I'll tell you. It's going to be Ohio State, Notre Dame in the national championship, and we're sitting here talking about Texas and all this other stuff early in the season. Notre Dame's got everything clicking for them.
So does Ohio State.
So does Penn State, though. Penn State hasn't had a bad loss this year. They've beaten who they need to beat.
And one thing, too, because I listened to the post-game interview with the Penn State players and how that was a big signature win for their team and for Franklin because
last game.
Yeah, because he hadn't won a big game.
I mean, I'm worried for a couple of reasons. Number one, our offense, for most of that game, looked dead in the water.
Well,
I know.
You throw for 90 yards and still win.
That's fair.
Is that good or is it bad? I mean, you're looking at a positive, negative, glass half full, glass half empty. If you're looking at Penn State, they like to play action pass.
I don't think that they're going to. I mean, yeah.
So they're going to pick on Christian Gray. Obviously, they're going to pick on Christian Gray. No doubt about it. If they don't have the deep ball open, they're going to pass it underneath. Notre Dame's underneath pass was wide open the entire game against Georgia. Georgia had lanes literally the entire game. Notre Dame stacked the box, so they brought an extra guy up.
Which they're going to do again.
So let's say they do it again. That means that somewhere is going to be open. Either it's going to be man-to-man coverage with Christian Gray downfield, or they're going to have open passing lanes. That worries me. Now were we able to get the pass rush going in the second quarter?
If they can hit and put pressure on Aller, any quarterback's average.
100%. I'm a little worried about this offensive stagnation because I was at practice the other day. Jeremiah Love ain't going 100%. I'm just telling you. He was bothered by the knee brace.
Little banged up?
He's banged up. He was bothered by the knee brace at practice.
Did that play happen in the IU game?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It happened in Georgia in the second half. Because he went off and then he kind of came back in. But you're right. I think the initial play happened in Indiana.
Well, I just know. I mean, maybe I was reading too much into it because he scored a 98-yard touchdown, then sat out the entire next drive.
Right.
The entire drive.
I think the initial injury happened, but then I think he kind of re-aggravated it. Yeah. And so he wore this huge knee brace. Now, he's been wearing a knee brace the last couple games of the season, but he looked irritated by it. Like, he's in the drills and fidgeting with it the entire time. And he's not, you can tell he's not putting 100% of the pressure on his leg. So you have Aeneas Williams, you have Jadarian Price, who knows what Jeremiah Love's going to be. I don't know. I mean, if you're Penn State, why not put a spy on Leonard?
Well,
they're not going to throw the ball.
I mean, like Notre Dame's not throwing the ball.
They're running the football. Yeah,
they're running swing passes.
3 out of 4 times. Yeah,
it's in the flat.
You take away one long run by Ashton Jeanty, and that dude rushed the ball 30 times for 75 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was below 3 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Did anybody do that to him the whole year? He didn't do anything in that game.
I'm as worried about the Penn State game as I am about a potential Ohio State matchup. I think both matchups are not great right now for Notre Dame. And that's my question is, we beat Penn State. There's this kind of, oh my God, we went on the road and beat Texas A&M. And I asked Marcus that question on Saturday in the press conference.
What did he say? To recap.
Well, he said, you know what? Yes, there is this, we want to look ahead. We want to, there is this element to that, because if you don't do that, you're not a human being, right? But you have to continue to stay present, use the in-the-moment thing. But I do believe, I'm like, how many times are you going to get up for a team, right? If you played a big team, you beat the team that you couldn't get over the hump on. Huge SEC team. How do you come back the next week and still have the same amount of dog-eat-dog that you did the week before? That's my worry.
I don't know. I mean, you're playing for an opportunity to go to the national championship game. That's where your sights have to be set.
And that starts in practice? It's on the field?
For sure.
I mean, what are you doing differently now? What are you doing differently right now? I mean, how many good practices do you really have between now and the game on Thursday?
2?
6.
During the week.
3?
It's like a normal game. And he compared it to a normal game week because there's 7 days in between games. So he's like, it's not really that different. But you do have the eyeballs. You do have the noise. Oh, Notre Dame this, Notre Dame that, right?
Usually it's, the first practice is pretty light.
Yeah.
And then the second 2 you ramp up a little bit and then you taper down. It's a long season. I mean, this is different than any of these guys have ever experienced.
But everybody's going through that, right?
Everybody's going through that, but also, you don't so much need the physical reps because you're really not doing anything different than you have all year. And we've said this every week. Notre Dame knows who they are all these teams, I think, have an identity now on what they want to do on the offensive and defensive side. So now it's going to be, we're studying film, we're looking at the game plan to see if there's any tendencies, and you've got, 16 games?
Yeah.
14 games of film now.
Right.
To understand that, in 3rd and 6th, they're going to be in this coverage.
They're going to do this.
Mm-hmm. And so there's some of that, and then it's going to come down to who executes the best. But also to your point, who's going to bring the energy?
Yeah. I mean, now I feel like Penn State's in the same place that Notre Dame was last week. Oh, the big dog. We're here. Like, this is the game. It's like, to get to the national title, we got to prove everybody wrong. Franklin's a good coach. All the talk is about Marcus Freeman being a good coach and getting to this point. Nobody's talking about Franklin right now. Nobody's talking about Franklin. Nobody was talking about Penn State before the season started.
They've quietly just all year. I mean,
just done it.
What is the spread of the game right now?
It's 2 points.
It's 2 points.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
it's close. I mean, these games are going to be tight. Ohio State's got to be more than that. Everybody's riding Ohio State, man. Everybody.
Well, Texas has been one of those teams, I think, they haven't peaked, right? They've kind of tapered.
Yeah.
And still found ways to win football games. And I don't think they should have won the Arizona State game.
They botched that thing.
No,
that targeting call too.
Call.
I mean,
that was a botch call.
That was about as textbook a targeting call as you could get.
Yep, 100%.
So we're at this place where I'm like, I don't know, man. I did pick against Notre Dame last time. And after seeing the Georgia game, didn't we talk about this against Indiana or something about like if the offense, you said it all year long, remember? If Notre Dame scores 24 points a game, they give themselves a chance to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they need to score more than that in this game.
Oh, wow.
I think they're going to need production out of their offense.
More than 24.
I mean,
Do you think they're built to do that?
Notre Dame is not built to play from behind.
That's fair.
I do believe if they get down 10,
They'll be in trouble.
you got to go away from the passing at that point, or the running game.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know, and we really haven't seen that, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen like
they've been literally down.
No, yeah.
They've been literally down, what, 5 minutes the entire season? NIU?
Yeah.
That was at the end of the game. So we don't really know much about what is Notre Dame's tendencies when they're down. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know. We'll wait to make our final predictions at the end here. I do want to ask you about the Detroit Lions.
We can do that.
Let's talk NFL football for a little bit before we go back to Bourbon Street.
Hold on. Can we do it? Everybody's got to do it. Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
In the text message, you said who?
Goff. Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Come on,
I still don't understand why people are chanting his name.
It's in every sports stadium in America right now.
Why are they chanting his
Because the Lions
name?
are going to win the Super Bowl.
No, they're not.
But he's going to buy tickets.
They're not beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, they are. Vahid is happening. Last year, Michigan, everyone's like, no, there's no way Michigan's going undefeated.
And hey,
And guess what Michigan did?
I said that.
It's happening.
I never said that Michigan would
you know
go
what?
undefeated.
The Packers beat Philadelphia. You got to play the Packers again. Hard to beat a team 3 times in a season.
The Lions are on fire, buddy.
And what about Washington? Washington's on fire.
True.
Jaden Daniels?
Yep.
Hey,
Kurt Herbstreit
don't
said he was the
count
best.
those chickens, man.
Said he was the best quarterback in the draft. So.
You were just chanting Goff.
No.
Whoever does that.
Do you know his stats in their 31-9 win? What they should be chanting is defense, defense. He was 27 to 33.
I'm more impressed by the defense.
One touchdown and
Their
2
defense
picks.
showed up last night. Or 2 nights ago.
He's average.
What's today? Yeah.
They will win the Super Bowl despite Jared
And
Goff.
here's what I'll say too:
yeah.
Jameer Gibbs is good.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs is good. My buddy had $100. He texted me like we could post it on the podcast if we want. He texted me, he goes, AJW, what do you think? He goes, I got a hundo on Jameer Gibbs having 4 touchdowns in one game. I'm like, buddy. I'm
He
like,
bet
hey.
on that?
He asked me if he should bet on it. I'm like, he texted me. I'm like, I would
Oh
not
my
take that bet. I said 4 touchdowns from Jameer Gibbs for Hondo. It would have paid out $3,300. And this is before the game. And I can show you the text. This is a real thing. I said,
Oh,
buddy,
no.
listen, I'm a Lions fan and I love my heart, and I love my Lions, but I'm like, don't do that. And guess what Jameer Gibbs did? Had 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 career catch touchdowns to make him the number 1 most touchdowns this season in 2024 regular season. He had 20 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, God.
And he's looking at me, he goes, hey, JW, I'm never listening to you again. I'm like, 4 touchdowns in one game? Nobody does that, buddy. Like, it's unheard of. So
I know a quarterback who does that.
Jared Goff.
No.
Josh Allen.
Yeah. They got a
He'll
tough
catch
draw,
one.
though.
That's Evan's boy.
Well, I'm looking it up right now.
Give us the rundown.
So
It's wild card
Wild
weekend.
card weekend.
Wild card weekend, yep. Starts Saturday.
Texans and Chargers.
Yep.
Who we got?
They just signed Ezekiel, too.
Who do I got there? Chargers.
Me too.
Chargers signed Ezekiel. I'm not sure that's a
It's
great
not gonna
ad,
do
but
anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Houston has been one of the worst teams in the league over the last month.
Yeah.
So how this works, right, is the lowest remaining seed
Correct.
will play the number 1 seed.
Correct. So let's go through and see who you got.
So if we're saying Chargers win, they're a 5 seed.
Correct.
You've got Ravens, Steelers. I'm going to pick the Ravens.
Ravens.
Ravens going
And then you've got Bills, Broncos.
Ooh, that scares me, buddy.
Bills are going to win that. Dude.
I'm picking the Bills. It's in Buffalo.
He's got the pants on.
So what would happen then is the lowest seed would be the
Won't explain
Chargers.
with confidence.
So the Chargers would play the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
And then you'd have Ravens, Bills.
That is a tough game.
You know who can't win in January?
And,
Baltimore.
And that would be in Buffalo because they're the lower seed. So
And-
I've got Chiefs, Bills.
Me too.
All right. So we've got Chiefs, Bills over here in the AFC. Let's go down to the NFC.
Is that what you have too, buddy?
Yes, sir.
LA versus Minnesota.
I got L.A. there.
Yeah,
Minnesota. Minnesota got a raw deal on that whole thing.
You think so?
No way.
You think
You drop from the 1 to the 5 and then have to go on the road to Los
Detroit
Angeles?
shut them down defensively.
And
That's what won that
guess who
game.
knows how to win in the postseason? The anti-Jared
Stafford.
Goff. Yeah, Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
I'm picking them.
All right. I will go with you on that too. All right. We got Bucks, Commanders. Oh, that's a good one.
I got Commanders.
Yeah.
I got Commanders in the upset.
I'm going to pick the Bucks. But we'll go off of your since you guys outweighed me. It was 2-1, so we'll go with the
That'll
Commanders.
be a good matchup.
And then you have Packers, Eagles.
I like the Eagles. Packers.
Eagles
They,
should win.
bad
So-
injury to Watson at the wrong time of the year.
Yep.
Not good.
So here is the thing then is if Washington wins,
They go to Detroit.
they go to Detroit. So you have Commanders, Lions.
Game.
Have they played this year?
No, I don't think
No,
they have.
they
No,
have
They
not.
haven't?
No, I don't think so.
So Commanders, Lions, Rams, Eagles.
I got the Eagles,
Get your best bourbon out.
and I got.
Or your best barrel-aged craft beer.
I'm sorry, buddy. I got the Commanders in the upset. I think they have not faced a quarterback like Jaden Daniels all season.
Oh, my gosh.
Have they faced Lamar Jackson?
Jared Goff. It's in every stadium across the United States. Wow. Here we go.
Whoa, buddy, you're bringing the house down.
I know.
I got Commanders.
Commanders.
Lions.
All right,
See,
do the Lions route.
Evan knows.
So Lions, Eagles.
Well,
Lions.
again, if it's Lions Eagles, it doesn't matter.
Well, no,
I got the Eagles. Because if the Commanders go, they would play at the Eagles, and in that situation, I would have Philadelphia.
Lions have home field advantage up until the Super Bowl, just so you know.
Right, but I'm saying if the Lions lose to the Commanders,
Yeah, they're not going
Then-
to, but okay.
So Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills.
I mean, I've got the Eagles.
I'm sticking with my pick that I switched to about 5 weeks ago. Bills, Lions.
Bills, Lions.
A lot of people are going with Bills Lions these days.
Here we go.
Did we check the logo of the Super Bowl this year to see the team's colors?
I think it's like red
Purple.
and pink.
It's purple.
Is it purple or pink? Or,
purple and
red
yellow.
yeah, purple and yellow.
Purple and yellow.
That would be Minnesota or
LA. Well, yellow.
Ravens.
Ravens could be Ravens. That's
Super
not happening.
Bowl logo. 2025
Yep,
images.
New Orleans.
Jeez.
That's it.
Oh, it's red. So Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it's Chiefs. It's Chiefs.
Chiefs,
and,
Seahawks. Who's like
silver.
Chiefs.
And Lions.
Chiefs.
They must have changed it because there was a purple and green at one point
Yeah.
too.
Chiefs. Bills. The matchup you're predicting is the Lions.
Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl, buddy. It's already happening.
It's not happening. Nothing's happened yet. Nothing has happened yet. And honestly, if you have an off game, anything can happen.
That's true.
I mean, if Jared Goff throws 4 picks,
I'm just saying.
He's done that in a game. Maybe 5. That one game.
didn't they?
Buddy,
did they win
it
that
doesn't
game?
matter if you have home field or not. Jared Goff
I will say though,
needs to be the
Detroit-
reason they
Detroit
don't
is a tough
lose.
place to play now.
David Montgomery's coming back for the not. He'll be back for the divisional playoff game. So, which means like
he won't be a factor.
Yeah, he'll be a factor.
He won't be a factor.
Oh, he won't. Okay, I mean, doesn't think he'll be a factor. I do.
Why wouldn't you play Jahmyr
Yeah,
Gibbs?
why would you go away from Gibbs?
Gibbs is a stud. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously you got Sonic and Knuckles, but you bring back Knuckles, it's a marketing ploy. I mean, listen.
I love the fact that you're going to bring back a former Chicago Bear to lose the game for you.
He's not going to lose the game for us.
Get it?
Hey, we're thanking the Chicago Bears for Montgomery. Most Bears fans know, if you're a true Lions fan, you recognize the fact that Bears gave him Montgomery and the Lions brought him in with open arms, and he has been a great thing for us. Just like as Alex Alizoni, how do you pronounce his last name? The linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know,
like,
yeah.
In that game 2 nights ago,
Yeah.
I mean, he was you look at defensively, he was an absolute man beast. Right?
I will say, he's got that defense humming.
Hey,
For as many injuries as they've had this
Aaron
year,
Glenn has got me scared about us leaving Detroit because he has got, we won that game on defense. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Minnesota, well, minus a couple errant throws.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Jameer Gibbs had an unbelievable game, 4 touchdowns, 137 yards, some freaking, that's like off the charts. But you look at Aaron Glenn and what he did. He shut down a 14-2 Vikings team that wasn't even supposed to be there. That they're an amazing team, but he shut them down. And bringing back Alex, how do you pronounce his last name?
Anzalone or something like that.
Anzalone.
Anzalone, yeah. Hey, that guy, he's like energy, like defensively, broke up a ton of plays.
I'm not a believer.
You're not believing?
I'm
You're not buying the
I'm not buying the Detroit Lions.
Blue
You know what's crazy?
the Blue Hawaii Kool-Aid.
There are 3 teams in the AFC better than the Lions.
Who?
Bills.
Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens.
Well, those are all AFC teams.
That's what I'm saying.
I
There are
think
3 teams
I
in the
think
AFC
all of
that-
those 3 teams would beat the Detroit Lions. I think the Steelers would beat the Lions. Defense.
Steelers? Come on, man.
If you
No,
can,
I see
if
none of
you
that.
contain if you contain Jared Goff and force him into making bad throws, the Detroit Lions will stumble. I don't care if it's at home or on the road or whatever. They will stumble.
Vahid is hoping so bad Jared Goff sucks in the playoffs.
Yes!
Because all
Let me
year.
ask you something, Vahid. Because
All
at the beginning
year.
of this podcast, in the early season, you said you would take me and Mr. Sharpley over here to my right.
I don't know if
Maybe
that has
your
anything to do with it.
left.
I think he just doesn't like Jared Goff.
If the Lions made the Super Bowl, you said you would take us. Is this a true bet? Because I don't want to hold it to you because I'm letting you know it's happening and right in front of your eyes, and it is going down.
I know sports, man. And I don't. There has been better teams than the Detroit Lions who have stumbled
All right.
with home field advantage. So, listen, I think it's a great story. I actually like the man. I think he has done a phenomenal job with Detroit.
From 0-16 to
I can't go to the game
15-2
anyways. I'll be in
3
Halifax.
years. That's impressive.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, he can't go. Take his place, buddy.
Call in.
We get 3 tickets.
Well,
You better
then-
call in sick,
going-
buddy.
well, I'll just leave early.
Yeah, leave early.
I don't know, buddy. I'm worried about the Detroit Lions because of their quarterback.
Okay, that's fair. But that's not. You haven't changed your story, and neither has Evan since the beginning of the season. So
I mean,
fair.
I mean, I've got the Lions in the Super Bowl.
and I'm a little afraid about the Bo Nix Denver Broncos in the
Okay.
playoffs.
All right,
I think that's a dangerous matchup.
Why? Just because the Chiefs didn't play this last weekend?
No. Because I think that dude is fierce. I think that dude plays with some fury.
Josh Allen has bigger balls than him.
He does.
You know how cold it's going to be in Buffalo this
It's very
weekend?
cold.
pretty cold.
Very cold.
Buffalo's got that advantage on that. No,
It's my fear talking, buddy. It's my fear. I want the Buffalo Bills to run the table and win the Super Bowl.
I do too.
And it would be, what a scene. Buffalo versus Detroit. Somebody's got to win the Super Bowl, buddy.
So since we're on this quarterback thing, we've been on Goff all year. Jaron Goff or Fred
Jeremiah Goff.
Let's play that rank the quarterbacks game.
Going into the playoffs?
Yeah, you got Houston.
I would say last year he was on top
Yep.
of my list.
Okay, so Herbert, he's a stud.
Herbert's a stud.
He's better than Goff.
Oh, are we doing better than Goff?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the better than Goff game.
Yeah, you gotta. Hey, make your claim. Better than golf.
Or we just rate him.
Are we talking generally or today?
Today. Let's go with today.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with Houston. Jared Goff is better then.
I would take Goff. Justin Herbert.
I would take Justin Herbert.
So would I. Lamar.
I'd take Lamar.
Yep.
Mars week in the playoffs.
Russell Wilson.
I'd take Russell Wilson.
I would
Russell
take Jared
Wilson,
Goff.
come on. I would take Jared Goff over. Are you kidding me, Vahid?
Guess
Come
who's
on,
won a
man.
Super Bowl? Russell Wilson. I'm taking my Wisconsin guy all day, every day.
Jared Goff over Russell
Josh
Wilson
Allen.
any other week.
Josh Allen.
Bo Nix.
Goff.
Man, if they had Nix in Detroit.
Now you're talking. Now you're
Because
talking.
that dude, he can make all the throws and throws on the move.
I have a question for you after this. I have a question.
Would you take Bo Nix straight up for Jared Goff?
Oh, and a straight up trade? Man.
I think Bo Nix is playing better football than Jared
Bo
Goff.
Nix is probably, out of all the rookie quarterbacks beyond Jaden Daniels, I will say this, that he's playing very good football.
Should we go out on a limb here?
If I'm looking at the next 10 years.
So who else you got, though? Who else you got?
it might
Before
be-
we
it
get
might
it
be
straight
good
off.
trade.
But
Yeah.
I have a hypothetical.
Bring me back to my
Yeah,
hypothetical.
yeah, I have. But I think we might have the same
Maybe we-
hypothetical.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Matthew Stafford.
No?
Matthew Stafford's playing better football than Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Sam Darnold. Jared Goff.
I'd take Jared Goff.
Baker Mayfield. I'd take Baker.
I'd take Baker too.
Goff.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels,
Oh, man.
100%.
Jaden Daniels plays good
Jalen
football.
Hurts.
Jared Goff. 100%.
I think Jalen Hurts
easy
is the better
answer.
quarterback overall. I'm not sure who's playing better right
Better
now.
football. We're
Goff.
talking about football right now. though.
Yeah, I'd
Jordan
take,
and
yeah.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Jared Love.
This guy's had too much, this guy's had too much tequila.
Jeremiah Love.
Malik Love.
Malik Love.
All right, hypothetical.
My hype. You want to go first or?
I don't care.
All right. Let's say they made a quarterback move and they brought in a free agent by the name of J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, wow. From Vikings? Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
it's already
Tom
been,
Brady
It's
or-
already been,
No,
it's
just-
already been rumored that they're going to trade him.
Trade Goff.
Would you take
No.
Goff or J.J. McCarthy?
Why would they trade McCarthy?
Because they're going to stick with Sam Darnold.
He is not the answer there.
No, he's not.
I agree with you.
He's the Jared
100%.
Goff of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, it's the same thing as signing Goff to a
He
4-year
is.
extension.
I 100% agree. You have a good receiver. The only reason he's getting those stats is because he has a plethora of receivers to throw it to.
And a good tight end.
So would it have to be a straight up trade for JJ for Jared Goff? Or do I get?
I think you could get more.
Do I? Yeah. Do I think I get to put him as a QB2? Yeah, that's the question.
Shedeur Sanders or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. Yeah. Should do Sanders. He's trash.
Okay, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole.
Anyways, what I was going to say
Now, who? Tom
is,
Brady?
No. Is there a better quarterback on the Lions roster currently than Jared Goff?
Teddy Bridgewater,
Teddy Bridgewater.
the third string QB3 that came out
just,
of
just won the high school state
High school
championship
state
game as a
champion.
coach and decided to come back and play.
It's the perfect scenario.
You didn't know that?
No.
You didn't
He was
know that?
coaching down in Florida.
Yeah. He's
Didn't play.
He's the backup quarterback?
He's third string.
Who's backup?
Hey, did you guys know that
Hendon Hooker.
But you know he's actually been listed as the QB3 quarterback all season long, even when he retired, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Get these.
He
quotation
retired
marks.
and coached a high school football team.
And he's
they
back.
won a state championship game, and he's back with the Lions.
The Lions
Buddy.
aren't stupid, buddy.
Buddy, Jared Goff is not the answer to the
Man, I'm
Detroit
taking a lot of
Lions
heat.
Super Bowl.
I'm taking a-
Would
Jared
you like
Goff
to
is.
win? Would you like to win one, or would you like to win multiple?
He's
Well,
gonna
you got to
win.
win one if you're going to win multiple.
He's gonna win it, buddy. Just trust me. Hey, Jedi wave.
Are you a believer in the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, but they don't
Because
have,
of their coach or because of their personnel?
I think a mixture of both.
But let's
I
not
mean-
forget they blew a 24-8 lead last year at San Francisco.
Yeah,
Well, hey, I got to bring it up. It's fair game.
It's a fair stone.
Hey, we lost to the Bears this weekend, and they celebrated like they won Super Bowl V. I mean, like, give me a break.
Here's what I'm going to say. I think that if you look at the NFC, I think the Lions are positioned for continued success moving forward.
Okay.
However, they do have to figure out what is next at the quarterback position.
Who is their biggest competition, you think, moving forward? Like, a team-wise, who do you think is it within the division, or do you think it's like Philadelphia? Is it Washington Commanders? Have we gone back to the early 90s? Washington?
I mean,
Detroit?
listen, if Daniels continues to play the way he's played,
Playing lights out.
and they've, within their organization, because you remember when we started this year, I didn't think he was going to have a good year because of their organization.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some things that are changing there.
They've figured it out. You figure it out when you have good players, right? And you have good coaches.
Sure.
That's how you start to get rid of bad.
Yeah, and it also goes into how you build the entire roster. You got to give a lot of credit to the Lions. They changed their entire draft process.
Yeah, they changed the culture
that they had done for 10 years.
100%.
That didn't work. Drafting one of the best skill guys or a receiver. This running. No, they made some good trades. I mean, you have to give credit as much as
100%.
As much as
I agree.
letting Stafford go.
What
they got there and the production they've got, and then what they did in the draft is how you build a successful organization in 5 years?
Do you know what 4 players we got for Stafford? Do you know?
I saw a stat on this, but I don't know
they were talking about it. So we got Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
We got Jameson Williams.
Yep.
We got Jared Goff, and we got Sam Laporta, a.k.a.
And Sam Laporta's been huge.
Hey, a.k.a. La Gota, as Aiden, my son, calls him, because he is the GOAT. Like, you look at what he tore up Hutchinson, that we traded away to Minnesota.
Yeah,
hey,
Hutchinson.
You got 4 amazing offensive players for one good guy.
Hacky sack.
Hacky sack.
But you got 4 amazing offensive players for one player. That's the GM. Kudos to them because they've made some right moves. So
yeah. Well, I think it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to watching the playoffs this year. Even though my team's going to get bounced in the first round, I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope we get another opportunity at Detroit because we were right there in the first 2 games.
Never know.
But I think NFC is on the up and up. I think the NFC is on the up and up.
So is Big Ten. Sorry, I had to throw that plug in there.
You guys have the biggest payroll in college football. Congratulations. Come on now. You can't play that game anymore. You cannot play that game anymore. The Super Bowl is in New Orleans. That is another topic that we were going to kind of discuss a little bit.
For sure.
I was down there. We were ringing in the new year. Heather and the kids were inside because we had just made the trip from France. So we landed at like 9 o'clock at night waiting for bags. We took the Uber. We went down. Our hotel was 2 blocks from Bourbon Street.
Wow.
It was literally right on that street, Canal Street, and it was facing the Marriott Hotel, which was the Georgia Hotel. That was the Georgia team hotel.
Okay.
Notre Dame was staying further kind of like towards the river. If you're well-oriented with, so it's a little further south if you're well-oriented with New Orleans. Bourbon Street is north, but 2 blocks, and that is the corner where that guy took his pickup truck and went right in, started going right into the crowd. Well, he planted those IEDs, we found out yesterday, at a couple of those corners in those, the buckets, the blue buckets in the coolers. One of those corners was one of the corners that we were on, taking pictures, throwing beads, having a great time, ringing in the new year. It was literally right on that corner, and he did it 45 minutes after we left.
That's crazy.
And I was saying, like, I normally don't, and we just turned into reporters. I mean, that was the job then, right? I mean, like, there was no football game to be played. Nobody was talking about football. Nobody cared about football. I know your brother was down there. Notre Dame changed their plans. Georgia changed their plans. I mean, everybody changed their plans. Your brother came back. There was discussion on whether or not we were going to stay. But I at the time didn't know, not that saying it was wrong and they shouldn't have moved it, but I just didn't know what one day would do. Right? Like, it's still an active investigation. It's still an active scene.
There's still information coming in.
Still information coming in. So I'm like, if you're going to do this, you're going to wait a week. At that point, it's like...
Or move the venue, which would,
Or move the venue. Like, because this is a very delicate situation. And obviously, you're going to have to move all types of security or get the National Guard or whatever to come in which they did. And then... obviously the game day was just stacked with police. I've never seen a police presence like that. The mobile command force was out there. It was true. I ran into Ryan Harris before the game, and he's like, dude, this is the safest place in the United States at the moment. You can't get anything in here without, and it was true. Like, normal security for a game takes us like 3 minutes. This took us 20 to 30 minutes. It was like TSA pre-check, right? You're walking through security, taking things out of your pockets. They're doing full pat downs, blah, blah, blah. And it ended up being, I feel like sports brings everybody together. Did that for 9/11. We were obviously all alive for 9/11 and know what happened. And, they canceled those games that day, but then they had them a few days later, and I think it was the right tribute to America, if that's a thing. So I think it was appropriate. It was a great game. But as far as covering breaking news events, you usually cover breaking news events, or I have, and it's like, okay, somebody has died, something bad has happened, but the scene is secure. Like, it's whatever happened has happened, right? You didn't know.
Right.
They were raiding his house in Houston at the time. They were actively finding IEDs at the time. So you didn't know, even though the district attorney and others had come out in that press conference and like, oh, it's secure, it's safe. How do you know?
Yep.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
There could be other people involved. We don't know. And so like you're at this place where, when I tell you, you saw the pictures in the video. There were hundreds of thousands of people down there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not joking on that figure.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of people down there. And when you're crammed into this little space, guess what's going to happen for the Super Bowl? They're going to cram into that little space. Guess what's happening for Mardi Gras?
Yeah.
They're going to pack in a little space. And the rule has always been 7:30, you can't drive cars on there. Why you can drive cars on there in the first place
it's crazy.
Without barriers.
There should be everywhere.
They had those.
There's so many people down there.
Those cinder block barrier things?
Yeah,
They look like car
cement,
lifts or whatever.
Cement things.
Yeah. They had them. They weren't up.
There you go.
And that was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night when I
Or
walked
even
down.
now they have the ones that can raise and lower.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The ones that like
Well, they're-
hydraulic
they're
go up
metal.
and down.
It's
That was the ones. They had them on a couple blocks. Didn't raise them. So you think to yourself, okay, there has to be security measures in place after this. Whether they shut down Bourbon Street completely just making walking and like where you can't even get through.
makes sense.
Like put those, what are those things with the concrete like poles basically, like every 2 feet where you can only get people through. Put those up at every corner. Make it a walkable street. Who drives down Bourbon Street anyway? Unless you're a vendor, right? I can see that being an issue, right? Okay, well, figure that out somehow. Because whatever it is not working. Dude was seen dropping off the IEDs on, camera. It was a scary situation. And I've never really been scared per se or apprehensive about covering breaking news. This was the first time that it really was like, whoa. We're going out at night. Any one of these cars could come through here in a live shot or whatever. Nothing's stopping it.
Vahid, you're a journalist. Do you believe it was a planned attack? Just, I mean, obviously,
I don't know about that.
I mean, it's a full loaded question.
I mean,
but
was
I'm
it
like,
a planned attack? I mean,
was it a planned attack? That's what I'm asking. You were boots on the ground. I mean, you were there with your family, enjoying what should have been.
mean, it looks
what do you
like
mean
it.
by a planned attack? Because he
Just
clearly
like,
planned it.
Yeah.
just like, was it a planned attack by the assailant that did it, or
I mean, it certainly looks like it
or
from
do
the
you
evidence.
mean he was a patsy? Is that what you're alluding to?
No, I'm just asking. Was it a planned attack?
Oh,
on
it was
behalf
clearly
of-
planned. He went down there and surveilled it, and
yeah,
Yeah,
October, November, he went
Yeah.
down there
He
and
went down
kind of
there.
went down to the whole thing.
well-
Seems
it was
like
well
it was
thought
a
out.
planned attack.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But you could have never known that Notre Dame was going to play Georgia, which is a really, really big.
Well,
But
game
he
with them.
obviously-
he probably would have known that.
yeah.
Or he, no matter the teams, I don't think
You
he
knew
cared
there
who
was
the
a game.
teams were.
You knew there was gonna
He
be
knew
a
there was a
He knew-
game down
he knew
there.
there was a game. Okay. That's what I
And there was
asking.
a New
Yeah.
Year's Eve. I mean, that added to
Well,
the
yeah, that too.
Yeah, I mean,
That was it.
He added to the kind of, it added to the destruction that he had set out to do.
Sure.
Was, hey, there's going to be a game here. There's going to be more people here than there normally is,
And New Year's.
and New Year's. So, I was asked the question today: are you apprehensive going to Miami? It's hard not to correlate those two things now,
Sure.
even though there was no correlation
No
whatsoever.
correlation. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Notre Dame football, college football playoff had nothing to do, we think, with the attack.
Yep.
Now, was it coincidence that the game happened at the same day and there could have been more people there and he might have put that into his plan? Maybe. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, it's a sporting event featuring 80 to 90,000 people at a large venue.
It's a lot.
This is the first event since that time. Well, we had NFL football, I guess, but I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's a really sad deal. 14 people lost their lives, like literally for nothing. And 30 people got injured, 35 people got injured, and man, it was a terrible thing. But I think the overall point is they need to increase security in that city when it comes to Bourbon Street. I mean, you can't expect to host a Super Bowl and Mardi Gras, which has already started, by the way, with that type of security.
Yeah.
No way. At any point now, you're like, I mean, we knew this before, right? I mean, that's the world we live in now. But it got that much more real down there, And I know your brother, they changed their plans and they came down. They didn't even stay for the game.
I was the crazy that was looking up flights to come down to the game because tickets were $20.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I went on Vivid Seats and
Yeah.
it was like, and decent seats, from $20 to $100.
That's crazy.
A
Wow.
lot of them too.
That's nuts.
Well, Brother Vahid, we're glad that you, Heather, Pax,
Thank you.
Ari, and yourself were safe. And obviously, it's a horrible situation. And
It is.
It's the world we live in nowadays, whether it be sports or other related things. And we're just glad everyone's safe. So
Thanks, man.
with our team. So
No, it's a scary situation, but listen, that's what they want you to do. They want you to live in fear.
yeah,
And so I choose not to do that. So
fair enough.
down to Miami we go for the Orange Bowl, and Levon's already down there, and
nice.
we're prepping for a Notre Dame matchup. So let's go ahead and pick our folks.
Let's do it.
Texas, Ohio State. I know you're rooting for Ohio State to win it all now because you didn't see. I know this guy wants to be the last guy to beat Ohio State, the national champion. I already know who he's picking.
How crazy would that be, though? Michigan won last year. Ohio State wins this year.
Man,
And then Detroit Lions won this year. Brother, you can't be
lot
that
happening in the
lucky,
Midwest.
buddy. So who you got? You got Ohio State?
No.
You're picking Texas?
I'm not. I'm gonna give my pick last. I'm gonna let Evan go.
Okay.
First.
I got Ohio State and Penn
Yeah.
State.
In the finals.
You got Ohio? You got Penn State?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, buddy, I thought you were gonna pick Notre Dame.
Nope.
Wow. Kind of shocked me a little. All right. Who you got?
I gotta go.
Go
All
ahead.
right. I've got Ohio State and Notre Dame in the final, and I have Notre Dame. I'm going on the record as a Michigan,
Oh, baby.
as a Tigers fan, as a Red Wings fan, as every other fan, a Michigan fan, not Michigan State. I've got the Irish pulling it out against Ohio State because I think Ohio State's defense is super weak. They have an amazing offense. But I'm going to tell you what, I got the Irish winning by 7 points.
Buddy, I'm picking...
In the national championship. Let's go, Freeman.
Buddy, just for that, I'm picking the Lions in the first round.
They're not in the first round.
No, exactly. Who do you got winning it all?
Ohio State.
Boy.
Drum roll.
I got a lot of heat last week for not picking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick Notre Dame again.
I'm the only one that picked Notre Dame.
I think these two potential matchups, are matchup nightmares for the Irish at the wrong time of year. There's a blueprint to beat every team. I just don't know if the Irish are healthy enough in these last two games.
Fair enough.
I hope they prove me wrong, because there is nothing that I want to see more than a Notre Dame national championship. You know, it's been a special year, and I think they would pay it off. I mean, I think it would be a good win. They got to start fast, and they got to cause turnovers and score points off turnovers.
They're going to have to force a few interceptions.
Yep,
Which is doable, but yeah, I think that's the ticket again.
But again, how do they play when the chips are not stacked against them? How do they play when people are talking about them as national favorites again, right? Sure. Front runners.
Sure.
And so we'll find out. But for this game in particular, I got Penn State 27-21.
Ooh.
And I've got Ohio State winning by at least 2 touchdowns. I think they score 35 points easily. And I think they win that one going away. And I've got Ohio State over Penn State in the national championship game.
All right.
Bars.
2 Big Ten teams in the national championship. Holy smokes.
Buddy.
Are the tides turning?
Hey, you listen to Joe Klatt? Joe Klatt has called BS on the SEC and says they've got to stop playing this game, that they're better than everybody else now. Uh-huh. And I think there's something to that. I mean, look at the Big Ten.
Big Ten's turning up.
Big Ten is tough. And it's hard. We talked about this early in the season. It's hard to beat teams like Nebraska and Wisconsin and Iowa and kind of those mid teams that used to kind of be the standard. They're not the standard anymore.
Sure.
So it's going to be tough being those teams moving forward. But does that wrap it for us? Buddy, let's cheers this to your baby. Can we announce it?
I think we're out.
Kimber.
Yeah. Baby
Kimber.
girl?
Baby girl.
On the way.
When's the official due date?
Hold on. Pour yourself
17,
some situation
19,
here.
like that.
Get a quick pour. Got it.
Because I'm good. We may not have a podcast before then, so I want to make sure we all have our picks. And
is that good? That's good for it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow, it comes out fast.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
To fatherhood.
That's right.
To the patty daddy.
Yeah. we got
the kids call me Dump Truck Daddy.
Oh,
Go
jeez.
Lions.
Do you have a nickname?
Jared Goff. What?
What's your nickname?
Jared Goff.
What's my nickname?
Yeah, he just said his nickname is
his
the patty
nickname's
daddy.
Mega.
No,
for
the
those
other
who
one.
don't know, his nickname's Mega.
The kids call me Dump Truck Daddy. You'll see when I walk out why.
The dump. Oh, you got to say it now.
The Cathedral of Notre Dame football.
You got to say the dump truck that is the dump truck. What do they call you? Dump truck daddy.
Yeah.
The dump truck daddy of South Bend, Indiana, and Bristol.
Bars. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Always share your
Oh,
brews.
sure. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2025.
Yep. Cheers.
Happy fatherhood, buddy. We'll
Go
see you.
Lions.
Damn Lions. We'll see you in the next podcast.